It's Saturday morning. We put these queens in here to be banked on Wednesday evening. I peeked in on them last night. They were doing good. And so I'm gonna pull them out now. The bees are tending to them. Now, yesterday afternoon I came in here, maybe because it was hot, I'm not sure, but they were just covered up in bees. In the morning like this, they don't seem to have quite as many bees on them. So I'm gonna shake the bees off and go in, and I'm gonna look in the ends and see if I need to add a little bit of candy to the ends of these queens. Okay, we got them in here in the house. You can see the tape worked well. Did have an incident a couple of nights ago where the tape had kind of pulled off. I guess because it was humid or something, I'm not sure. Maybe I didn't have them taped that well. It wasn't on the Italians, it was on the Carniolans. The Italian candy is still looking pretty good in there. But these Carniolans here, the tape had come off and they were starting to eat through the candy. And I'm glad I checked, because had I not checked, we might have had a bunch of queens getting loose in there and it might have been really bad. So I brought them in here, re-taped them, put tape around to make sure it was secure really well. But if you look right here, you can see how far they had eaten through. Probably over a 1/4 inch down in there they had eaten through, and I'm sure the bees on the inside are working their way out as well. So what I've done is I've made a little bit of candy here. I don't know if you can hear the bees are piping a little bit. I made a little bit of candy here, and we're going to just make sure they have enough in the end. So it'll take them at least a couple days, hopefully, to eat out once we put them in the new hives today. So the way I made this candy was I took some powdered sugar and I just put some honey in it, enough to get it to where it almost feels like Play-Doh. It's not really sticky, but it is fairly thick and it is pliable. I haven't made a lot of candy in the past, but I think this will work fine. So I'm just going to take it, I'm going to put it in the end right here. Whoops, poor little queen. Just going to kind of stuff it in there, make sure it goes in there, and that'll give them a little extra work to do to get her out, which I don't want them to be in here too long, because it has been, these bees were mailed on Monday and today is Saturday. So they've been in these cages a few days. I'm just going to do that, kind of fill up the rest of the space right there on all these. May even push it down a little bit just to make sure that there's plenty for them to eat through, but I think it's going to be fine. If any of you have any experience making candy for queen cages, maybe you could give us a recipe. Let us know what you might have done differently. I think it's thick enough. It just fits in there nicely. It's just like Play-Doh. That one was eaten down pretty far. Yeah, I'll be glad to get these queens in their new hives, new colonies. Okay, rookie mistake. Pushing the candy in like this when the black tube is already pushed down into these. It causes you to push the tube right down in with the queens. And so I did that on all 8 of my Carniolans and started on the first Italian. I realized what I'd done. So what I've done is I've taken some of these roller cages, did this outside actually. I don't know how it's going to work, but we're putting candy in the bottom down here, up to about that mark right there. And we're just transferring the queen, at least an attendant or two, into the roller cage, and we're just going to see what happens, because it's tough to get them back in these cages. So here we kind of got a mess. So these are the ones I've already done. I'm going to go do that Italian. These are the Carniolans. One of the queens was actually dead. This was her right here. She was shriveled up, and she had already been dead, I'm sure, for a while. It's just a risk I guess I took by banking them that long. But the rest of them look really healthy. I had managed to get these 3 back in the cages, but it was such a pain to try to do that. I just ended up putting them in the roller cages. I just peel the screen back a little bit. Got to push the roller cage down on there really firm, like this, and make sure the screen is bent so the queen can't escape. We had 2 of the queens that actually flew away, but they came back. And so we were real lucky. Live and learn, rookie mistake. You think after all this time I've been beekeeping I would have had that figured out by now, but anyway, that's how it goes sometimes. We gotta get these girls out in some hives.